Welcome to Global Sky Update. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. This is gonna blow your mind. The air itself seemed to vibrate, a low hum swelling into a deafening roar that shook the ground. A wave of heat and the sharp scent of jet fuel swept over the tarmac. This was not the sound of conflict, but of power and potential. For President Volodymyr Zelensky, standing at the edge of a Swedish runway, it was the sound of hope. This was no ordinary diplomatic welcome. It was a display of raw aerial might. On November 20th, 2025, the real conversation was happening on a military airbase, not in conference rooms. Zelensky, in his signature green, stood with Swedish officials, eyes fixed on a Saab JAS-39 Gripen fighter jet. The jet's engine blazed, its form promising speed and precision, a statement from a nation that had left neutrality behind. The Gripen taxied forward, a predator poised for dominance. For Zelensky, whose skies at home are under threat, this was personal. He watched, calculating what such power could mean for Ukraine's defense. The jet paused, silence falling, a breath before the plunge. Then, with a thunderous blast, the Gripen rocketed skyward, a silver dart vanishing into the Nordic blue. Zelensky's gaze followed, a flicker of awe and gratitude crossing his face. The real diplomacy of the day had just begun. In that moment, hope soared with the jet. Inside a vast hangar, Gripen jets rested like sleeping giants. Zelensky walked among them, not just observing, but absorbing every detail. A Swedish Air Force commander explained the Gripen's advanced avionics and its ability to operate from makeshift runways, vital for a nation under attack. Zelensky's questions were sharp: maintenance, training, missile systems. He was a leader thinking in terms of survival. Invited to the cockpit, Zelensky settled into the pilot's seat, surrounded by screens and controls. A young pilot explained the systems. For a moment, Zelensky smiled, the weight of war briefly lifting. In that seat, he felt the promise of flight and freedom. As he climbed out, he turned to the Swedish Prime Minister, voice thick with emotion. He spoke of Ukrainian pilots' bravery, of children who looked to the sky with fear. Seeing the Gripen and Swedish professionalism gave him renewed hope. The handshake that followed was not for cameras, but a bond of shared conviction. In the hangar, alliances were forged not just in steel, but in trust. The visit was more than a tour. It was a lesson in resilience. The future of Ukraine's skies was being imagined here.
Breaking news from President Zelensky's historic visit to Sweden. This is more than diplomacy. It's the birth of a new security alliance.
Sweden's NATO membership is now real policy. By showcasing the JAS-39 Gripen, Sweden sends a clear message to Moscow. Our capabilities are now part of collective defense. The Gripen isn't just a jet. It's a flexible, advanced system built for harsh conditions and rapid deployment.
What sets the Gripen apart from, say, the American F-16?
The Gripen is cost-effective, easy to maintain, and can operate from short, damaged runways, crucial for Ukraine. Its electronic warfare suite gives pilots a smart edge. Exactly. Zelensky in that cockpit isn't just seeing a machine, he's seeing a tool for defending his nation. The world sees a united European front, with Sweden's best technology on the table. This visit builds trust, demonstrates capability, and changes the strategic calculus in Eastern Europe. S1. Media: Zelensky touring Swedish airbase with military officers, Gripen jets taxiing or taking off. Eastern Europe map with highlighted borders. Analysts in military command room, so this is psychological as much as technological.
A new era of cooperation is underway.
Back to you, David.
The alliance is no longer theoretical, it's operational.
Reporting from Luleå Air Base, the atmosphere is electric. Locals and Ukrainian refugees wave flags as jets thunder overhead. A sound once feared, now a symbol of safety. Olena, a refugee from Kharkiv, says her sons used to hide from loud planes. Today, they point at the sky with excitement. Here, the sound means we are safe, she says. Zelensky's visit feels like a promise they haven't been forgotten. A retired Swedish officer tells me, "We built our military for ourselves. Now, we use it to shield another nation. It's the right thing to do." The mood is unity, not aggression, deterrence and solidarity. Security is tight, but there's a shared sense of purpose. As another Gripen takes off, the crowd cheers, a moment of shared humanity. The jets overhead protect homes, families, and the right of a nation to exist. Marcus Thorne, for CNN, at Luleå Air Base.
On the ground, the alliance is felt in every heartbeat. The day's meaning is written on the faces of those watching the sky. The day was about more than hardware. It was about sealing a partnership. At a joint press conference, Zelensky and the Swedish Prime Minister announced a landmark 10-year security agreement. Sweden's support is now a long-term commitment to Ukraine's defense and reconstruction. The Prime Minister declared, "Our security is intertwined with Ukraine's. The Gripen is a symbol of our resolve." Zelensky spoke directly to the Swedish people. "Today I saw the wings of freedom. Your skill and dedication give us strength." He thanked Sweden for both military and moral support, recalling the moment in the Gripen cockpit as feeling the pulse of a free nation. "This partnership," he said, "is forged in steel and resolve. Together, we show the world that tyranny cannot prevail against unity." The applause was heartfelt, marking a profound moment. The alliance was now official, written in promises and sealed with conviction. The future would be built together. Beyond politics and technology, the day was defined by human moments. At lunch, Zelensky spoke with Gripen pilots, not just about jets, but about families and fears. He laughed with a young captain nervous to fly for a head of state. A moving exchange with a female maintenance chief highlighted the shared spirit of those who keep jets flying, in Sweden and Ukraine alike. "You are the unseen heroes," Zelensky told her. The visit resonated with the Swedish public. News showed refugees' gratitude and children leaving sunflowers at the Ukrainian embassy. Even the gift exchange was meaningful. A model Gripen from Sweden, and from Zelensky, a painted fragment of a downed missile. It was a stark reminder of war, but also of hope. The partnership was now personal, its meaning felt in every gesture. The alliance was no longer abstract, it was human.
We're back with our panel. General, what's the military takeaway?
Interoperability. Training Ukrainians on the Gripen integrates them into NATO's defense system, sharing data, logistics, and operations. This is a nightmare for Russia, a fundamental shift in Ukraine's capabilities.
Dr. Anderson, how is this seen in the region?
For the Baltics and Finland, it's a relief. Sweden's leadership strengthens the Nordic bloc and signals collective security for the Baltic Sea.
Julia, what's the message to other European allies?
It sets a new standard. Sweden, a new NATO member, is leading by example, offering first-line capabilities and long-term support. It encourages larger nations to match this ambition. Sweden shows that a medium-sized country can have a huge strategic impact.
Europe's security landscape is changing.
Absolutely. This is a powerful move.
The ripple effects will be felt across the continent. The alliance is now a model for others. Europe is watching and responding. As the sun set, Zelensky's visit neared its end. He walked the tarmac with the Swedish Prime Minister, discussing the future, training, logistics, resolve. The day had been a whirlwind power, solidarity, and a concrete promise of support. Images of Zelensky in the Gripen cockpit would send a message home. You are not alone. As his plane prepared for takeoff, 2 Gripen fighters appeared, escorting him to the edge of Swedish airspace. It was a silent, powerful gesture, a promise kept. The new Europe was in action, alliances redrawn by shared values. The roar of the jets was a promise made, their escort, a promise kept. The day ended with hope soaring into the twilight. The partnership was now written in the clouds. November 20th, 2025, marked a turning point for Ukraine and its northern allies. Zelensky's visit forged not just military promises, but an emotional bond. The resolve to support Ukraine is growing stronger and more integrated. But symbolic gestures must become action. Training, logistics, and munitions require sustained effort. The unity shown today will be tested. Europe's security depends on this partnership's success. For Ukrainians, the visit is a sign their sacrifice is honored with real support. The hope of secure skies and peaceful cities is now tangible. The story is still unfolding. Alliances are being reshaped daily. We'll continue to bring you the latest from the front lines of diplomacy and defense. The world is watching.